To assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the third in a series, taking a look at horses that are possibly going to find a place on Classic Watch 2023. There you'll see the site there, classicwatch2023.ml. It's in its very early days of creation at the moment. All there is there really is just a link to Classic Watch 2022, and it's just a placeholder really. At the end of the day, horses will hopefully be here ahead of the classics in May and middle of January. I'm perfectly happy with where the site is at the moment. We've obviously done videos looking at the top 10 horses in the past. I'll link a playlist at the end of the video to those in case people have missed them. Unfortunately, I can't do it now because I need the 5 cards that this video permits me to link us to the 5 videos containing the 5 horses that we're going to talk about today. Horses that I've been umming and ahhing with really over the past 3 weeks as to whether to put them up anyway or just to leave them really and protect myself really just from picking losers. But at the end of the day, you know, I think my practices stand up to the test of time over the years. So I'm going to give these 5 horses now, and these would be the horses ranked number 11 to number 15 in the list of around 60 two-year-olds I identified from last season, starting in around April or May time, I think. I can't quite remember when the process started. I'll be able to tell you now. The process started in August of 2022. So before we start though, I just want to say thank you very much to those who have supported the channel and support the videos in your own way. It is always very much appreciated as you strive, as the project can't really move forward without you. It's all very much appreciated. Those of you just watching the videos with no inclination of liking or subscribing, well, that's more than happy as well, you know. I'm more than happy with whatever people decide to do. Right, let's look at these horses then. I think there's 5 interesting horses here, you know, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to discuss the form of them quickly, and then as I'm doing that, there will be a card to the pedigree. I'm not going to try and talk about the pedigree too much in these 5 horses, or else we'll be here all day. Right, so this is going to be number 11 on the list, Midnight Mile. Richard Fahey trained, Mrs. Richard Henry owned, No Nay Never sired filly, Midnight Mile. So this is another one by No Nay Never. If people look at the form of it, they'll see that it took a gap between July and October. And after it winning first time out, they ran its second start in the Group 3 Oh So Sharp Stakes in October. And then the horse ran well, I thought. It won well. It then went to the Breeders' Cup over a mile, upped slightly in trip. And I didn't think it disgraced itself at all when 4th out of 14 at the Breeders' Cup. I think this is a horse that will stay further than a mile. It is a testament to the strength of our list that this horse is not higher really, because it does tick a lot of boxes. And if this was one that would prove to be a classic horse at some point, I would not be in the least bit surprised. A nice filly. Number 12 will always be a horse that we're happy with, because it's something I like to do is really get stuck in to the first season sires. You know, the sire Roaring Lion unfortunately only has 1 crop of racing age, but in true style I did manage to identify the best one. It's the Group 1 winning Dubai Mile, trained by who is now Charlie Johnston and owned by Ahmed Al-Sheikh. I mean, people look at the form of this horse, it didn't really do anything wrong in the first 3 starts. But then it was second behind the Foxes in the Royal Lodge. And then it came out after that to land the Group 1 Criterium de Saint-Cloud in France, becoming his stallion's first Group 1 winner in the prospect. I mean, I think this horse is interesting. It's whether it's good enough or not, time will tell. It has proved it has already stayed 10 furlongs at 2. So I'm hoping we're looking at the middle distance and maybe even ledgers for this horse. I can't see it being quick enough for the Guineas anywhere. But I do think it warrants very close attention, this Roaring Lion sired Dubai Mile, until proven otherwise regarding the classics. Number 13 is the horse that beat number 12, the Andrew Baldwin sired. Now that would be seeing something, wouldn't it? The Andrew Baldwin trained, Churchill sired, the Foxes. I mean, again, it was deemed good enough to run in the Chesham on its second start, where it finished 9th behind Holloway Boy. And then it came out and beat Classic to get off the mark. Classic is another one of our horses that we were quite strong on at the time, to a certain extent. But the Foxes beat it well, and then it proved it was no fluke at all, with a win in the Group 2 Royal Lodge Stakes over a mile at Newmarket, when it beat our other horse, Dubai Mile. So we can't, people would be arguing why this horse really could be rated above the other one. So what? If you think that, then you think that. If you think the Foxes is a better proposition than Dubai Mile, then I'm pleased that you're making your own decisions rather than just listening to me. I wouldn't rule either of them out. But the only reservation about this one is that it's related to horses that have run in classic trials and won classic trials and have then been beaten in classics. So we'll wait to see whether this horse has a similar fate awaiting him. But I do think he is a nice horse, the Fox is. Number 14 is the Godolphin owned and Charlie Appleby trained Mysterious Night. This one, as I'm not entirely sure that this will be campaigned as a classic horse, if I'm honest. But it is a Group 1 winner, having won the Summer Stakes out in Woodbine in September. It is also a Group 3 winner in France, having won the Prix Francois Broutin. But it's not done a lot wrong. It's won 3 out of 6 races. It's served its apprenticeship in pattern races before it managed to get its head in front in 2. But I just feel, like I said, I'm not sure this is a classic horse. Or else I might have rated it a little bit higher, because it's from a family that owes me absolutely nothing. It's an interesting horse, this Mysterious Night. I'm thinking though, will it be campaigned a bit like they campaigned Yibir this year? A lot of American raids. Is it a classic? Is it a horse for the European Classics? Time will tell. If it was to turn up in a Guineas, then I don't think people could dismiss it lightly. Last, but by no means least, is a horse I've had to include, but connections are on record as saying, and they were on record as saying from quite a while back, this horse was a sprinter. I mean, if people look at the card, people watch the card that I've advertised now above this horse, they will see me make a perfect case for it. Well, not perfect, a perfectly reasonable case on why I think this horse will stay a mile. But connections, they seem to think that sprinting is the way forward for this Exceed and Excel side colt. The form of it is very good. I think if people watch the Serenia Stakes, when it won in the style of a very good horse, and they've ran Massar, a Derby winner, in that race in the past as well. It then raced 4th of 8 behind Blackbeard at Newmarket in the middle part, and it then went and won and dropped back in trip to 5.5 furlongs. The first time in its career, it won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint, running to a career best figure of 113. If this was to turn up in a classic, then I would fancy it without any shadow of a doubt. But connections seem to be wanting to go the sprinting route with it. Charlie Appleby has been on record, and if you can choose to believe these trainers, he's been on record saying he thinks it's a sprinter. So if it goes sprinting, it'll be interesting to see whether it makes into, say, a Commonwealth Cup horse or something like that. I always said the Commonwealth Cup had ruined the Guineas, and this is a classic example of it. Because if 5 years ago, I think they stretched this horse out to a mile with the Commonwealth Cup not even in the pattern. Now they can just keep it ticking over nicely and go for the Commonwealth Cup. Be interesting to see what connections do. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this video up now. Don't forget, a quick reminder, if people want to see Classic Watch 2023 in the future, it can be found at classicwatch2023.ml. Another thing, at the end of this video, there will be two options for you. One of them is enabling people to subscribe to the video, should they wish. And the second one is a list to the two videos which will accompany this. The horses ranked number 1 to number 5, and then the horses ranked number 6 to number 10, just to enable people to catch up with the top 15. The rest of them, well, I think they're looking at, I might do a Twitch live stream and test Twitch, and just bang on about 44 2-year-olds for a couple of hours and see what happens, because we need to look at the rest heading forward before I start to identify ones that were running later in the year, which I normally like to do around the February time in the month coming to the Cheltenham Festival. So we've not got long. So basically, I'm going to wrap this video up now. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Thank you very much for watching the videos, as you do, and it is all very much appreciated. Take care, everybody, and look after yourselves.